Yo, what's up YouTube? Benji here, and I just figured I'd do a quick video on sort of how to do the Taunt Jet Upper, but mostly just like I would like a little bit of clarification on some things and a little bit of motivation, I think. I hope. But to start with, Taunt Jet Upper, if anyone doesn't know what that is, that's when you combine this move, which is taunt and unblockable, that point of impact right there. That leaves you plus 16, right? That's what the frame data says. It's unblockable, even if he's blocking, it doesn't matter, it will still hit him. And that means you have 16 frames to do with what you will. This move, not the first move, this is a jab, that's not what we're looking for. This move, 14 frames, but because there's a forward and a backward input, that means that you have forward 1 frame, neutral, as in the space between the buttons, and then backward, which is 1 more frame. With a 2, alright? With that yellow button right there. Okay, that input. The forward, backward 2. That total is 16 frames. So we got a 16 frame advantage, and a 16 frame move. And if you put them both together, you have an unblockable launcher. Okay? Which means you get big damage, maybe like half a bar of damage off of something that's unblockable if you're in the right spot. That's why it's good and why it's important. But if you can do the math, it's also pretty hard to do. Doing this, doing that, as fast as you can, as fast as is necessary for the Taunt Jet Upper, is very hard. It's very hard. It takes some practice. It took me like 3 weeks. Took me 3 weeks of playing like on and off, trying to do it like a half hour here, an hour there. Other people have done it faster than me. A buddy of mine who doesn't play Brian half as much as me got it a lot quicker than I did the first time. Can't do it as much as I can now, but that's because I practiced. Okay? So, the main thing that I want to show you is something that should at least tell you that you have the potential to do it. And that is, let's see if I can do it. That, okay. That input. Alright? See how there's no neutral in between? You see that? What that means is I did the input too fast. It means that there was no space in between. I went from forward to backwards and missed the frame. And if you do that, you actually don't get a jet upper. You just get it back too. You just get this move. It doesn't register unless you have the neutral input. Okay? Now, the reason I say this is because I didn't know for sure, the way the game read this, that I saw that input a few times and I wondered if the game was just fucking up. Because this game is kind of like fucking weird about reading inputs. It can happen that the game just fucks up and weird things happen. But no, I mean, if you get the back 2 while trying to do a Taunt Jet Upper, that means you did it too fast. So if you see that, you know at the very least that you have the capability of doing it, because the rest of it is just making sure you do it at this timing where your knee hits the face. Like, it has to be frame perfect. You have to be right on the money. I liken it very much to if you've ever played a sports game. You watch the meter go up. Watch the knee go up. Over time, you'll at least get more consistent with it. It's not going to be perfect. Like, I don't hit this thing all the time for sure. I don't even hit it that often, except for when I'm just doing it in practice mode. But if your input is good and clean and you've worked on it, it's much closer to that kind of feeling. You're just watching the meter rise. Alright, folks. I wanted to talk about Hitbox Taunt Jet Upper 2. And I did it on the other stage, but I made a grievous error. And I'm happy that I checked, because that would have made me look like a total fucking dumbass. Which I already do on stream plenty, so we'll keep that off YouTube for now. When you use a hitbox, or at the very least a keyboard, maybe the hitbox registers inputs differently. I'm not really sure. I don't think so, but maybe it does. The way that that works is if you press forwards and backwards, and you press them at the same time, it registers just as a neutral input. Alright? So you have to make sure you press forwards 1 frame, let go, neutral 1 frame, and then backwards and 2 at the same time. So it's not like when people talk about it being like a taunt jet upper being easy on a hitbox. I don't think that's true. It's definitely not easy. Is it easier? I don't know. It might not even be easier. Like you have to be very specific. You don't have to like worry about the timing of forward backward on the stick. You just have to do it as fast as possible. And once in a while, you'll fuck up and get the neutral less input that gives you the back two. But on a hitbox, getting like back twos and getting like jabs and shit like that is way easier. So to me, when people say that it's easier on a hitbox, I'm just like I don't see it. I don't see it. I apologize. Maybe it's lazy of me. I'm not gonna like display it or anything. I don't have a hitbox. I do have a keyboard. But the setup that I have means it's kind of hard to use it. To be honest, it's kind of weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing to explain. But moral of the story, I don't personally think it's easy on hitbox. I'm not even sure if it's easier on hitbox. I refuse to believe it's harder though. Okay, I do this hard thing that I've worked on for a while. I want it to be the hardest thing in the game. I'm gonna maintain that. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. That little addendum about hitbox use. Don't think it's that much easier, and it's a bit of a myth in my opinion that people think it is. But anyway, thanks for watching, dudes.